AG Barr did testify before Congress this morning for the first time since the Mueller report was released. And now that Congress has the letter Mueller wrote to Barr, they have questions, as you can imagine. So watch how Barr responds when that letter is read out loud.
From Bob Mueller. The summary letter the department sent to Congress and released to public late in the afternoon of March 24th did not fully capture the context, nature, and substance of the office's work and conclusions. We communicated that concern to the department on the morning of March 25th. There is now public confusion about critical aspects of the results of our investigation. This threatens to undermine a central purpose for which the department appointed the special counsel, to assure full public confidence in the outcome of the investigations.
I talked directly to Bob, and Bob told me that he did not have objections to the accuracy.
Attorneys don't put things in writing unless they're pretty serious about them. There's an old rule in politics: a good politician doesn't write a letter and doesn't throw one away.
Okay.
So I've got to ask you, if he puts it in writing of his concerns or your representations on March 24th, you couldn't recall that when Congressman Chris asked you that question a few days later?
No, I'm saying that this was the March 24th letter stated that Bob Mueller did not reach a conclusion on obstruction. And when I talked to the special counsel about the letter, my understanding was his concern was not the accuracy of the statement of the findings in my letter, but that he wanted more out there to provide additional context to explain his reasoning on why he didn't reach a decision on obstruction.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. So Durbin with excellent line of questioning there. And earlier when he came in front of Congress, Bill Barr clearly said that he was unaware of any concerns from Mueller's team about how he summarized their actions. But we now know he was clearly aware. There was a very detailed and strongly worded letter written to Barr himself that he was aware of, and then made a call to Robert Mueller to about the letter, where he said, Mueller's team said, we are deeply concerned about how you summarized our report. So when he came to Congress and said, I'm unaware of any of their concerns, 100% lie, clear, demonstrable lie. That is perjury, a felony, and I believe that the Republicans are on the record for saying perjury is an impeachable offense. They obviously said that about Bill Clinton. So I assume they're all gonna agree that William Barr should immediately be removed from office. Oh, right, they didn't. Instead, they spent the whole hearings talking about Hillary Clinton. And I'm not kidding.
Here in this next video, Barr can't remember if he discussed any ongoing criminal cases with anyone in the White House.
Have you had any conversations with anyone in the White House about those ongoing investigations that were spawned or spun off by?
I don't recall having any substantive discussion on the investigation.
Have you had any non-substantive discussion?
I mean, it's possible that a name of a case was mentioned.
And have you provided information about any of those ongoing investigations? Any information whatsoever?
I don't recall, no.
You don't recall?
I don't recall providing any.
Wouldn't you recall about whether you gave information to somebody in the White House about an ongoing criminal investigation in the Southern District of New York, or the Eastern District of New York, or the Eastern District of Virginia, or the Department of Justice?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't recall providing any substantive information about a case.
You can't recall whether you have discussed those cases with anyone in the White House, including the President of the United States?
My recollection is I have not discussed those.
I mean, it's just incredible how this is like sort of a stalling, playing the long game, icing the kicker type of thing that's going on here. Yeah. I mean, obviously we have him on the record, as you just said, being factually incorrect, with the earlier statements that there was no interaction. But I think it's quite clear here that the goal is to have his findings, supposed findings, his summaries, be what the public understands, bore the heck out of us the rest of the time, and Trump will use it as political ammunition to divide and conquer.
Yeah, and here he is now, since he got caught lying earlier to Congress, he's trying to be careful. What do lawyers do when they're trying to be careful? I don't recall. Now, how are you going to disprove I don't recall? If he says, no, I didn't tell them anything about other cases or this case, well, he's lying. Of course he did. That's why he's saying I don't recall. These events didn't happen a couple of years ago. They just happened. This is all in the last couple of months. And wait, you went and talked to Donald Trump at the White House about cases that affect Donald Trump, and you don't recall that? I mean, then we've got a whole nother issue about whether you can hold down any job, let alone attorney general. That would be very important when you go talk to the president about cases he might be involved in. That's not a thing that slips your mind a couple of days later. No, he's saying I don't recall because he clearly talked to the White House and doesn't want to get caught lying again.
Yeah, this is a White House where the boundaries between the White House itself as an institution and anyone outside are very porous. It's unclear where, who's going in, who's going out, and the key response that we see across the board over the last 2.5 years has been, I don't recall.
Yeah, and look, the MAGA guys know he's lying too, because they can, you can yell and shout about anything else, but you hate politicians too, and that's a political answer, and you know it. You know he didn't forget. Like the only defense you got is, yeah, so what? They talked about it, so what?
Right.
Okay, but admit that he's not telling the truth when he says, oh golly gee, did we talk about cases related to Trump with Trump a couple of days ago? I can't recall.
I mean, how many times has Giuliani himself actually sort of said, I can't recall about various things, right?
Yes.
Over the past 2 years.
He actually may be forgetting.
I mean, we have no idea what's going on inside Giuliani's head, that's for sure. On the go? Don't worry, we got you covered. You can still listen to TYT at our new podcast network. Find us on Apple Podcasts, the Google Play Store, or at tyt.com/podcast.